Hello, welcome to SVTV. I'm Victoria Durant.
And I'm David Blackmore, and we're delighted to be back here at the Corner Gallery in Carshalton Beeches to record our second show. Coming up, we speak to some of the Sutton grammar students who've released a new Android app called Unitencil.
And we'll also be hearing from the chairman of Urban Youth Action. But first, let's hear some of the best good news stories from around Sutton with Emma Dempsey.
Startup owners are dumping Terapins, and RSPCA in Sutton is trying to raise money to help with their care. Terrapins start off very small when first brought, normally no bigger than a 50p coin, but can grow up to 20 centimetres, that's 8 inches long, and when their owners realise that they have become too big to look after, they will dump them, often into local waterways or ponds. A spokesperson for the RSPCA said terrapins can be difficult to look after as they can live up to 50 years and eat a very special diet. Anyone who feels that they can help raise the money needed to help the RSPCA buy a suitable aquarium for the terrapins to live in until that perfect permanent home can be found for them should visit the website address at the bottom of your screen. Sutton Volunteer Centre's Mentoring and Peer Support Programme has been awarded 3 years funding by the Big Lottery Fund, reaching communities to provide a dedicated stream of mentoring to young carers. The scheme places people who listen with young people who need to be heard, and there are hopes the project will start this month. In addition to the Big Lottery funding, they also have been awarded a 3-year contract to work with children and young people that are subject to child protection plans or are leaving care. And finally, a new website promoting a local food network has been launched by Carshalton-based Eco Local. It develops and delivers a broad range of environmental sustainability services designed to help people move toward more pro-environmental behaviours. The new website will give all interested people a chance to find out everything you need to know about how to grow your own delicious organic fresh fruit and vegetables, as well as swapping growing tips, seeds and plants. To discover more, visit the website displayed at the bottom of your screen. Back to you, David and Victoria.
Thank you very much for that update, Emma. Now to our next guest. Phil Hornsey is the chairman of the Urban Youth Action, which has done some wonderful work in the Borough of Sutton recently. Phil, come and join us, please.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Phil. When and why did you first get involved with this charity?
When I first moved to the area to take up my job as Minister of Carshalton Beeches Baptist Church, someone in the church handed me a folder about a bunch of churches who were getting together to do a skate event in Royston Park back then. That was my first involvement with the charity.
Now, Phil, I can remember when the charity was called Sutton Ramp Events. Why the change to Urban Youth Action?
Sure, so relatively recently we changed name from Sutton Ramp Events, as you said, to Urban Youth Action because obviously Sutton was in the name before and we wanted to broaden our work to wider boroughs, so we thought that would give us more room to do that.
In your time with Urban Youth Action, how much has the organisation grown and how far can it continue to grow?
I think the first events attracted maybe 50 young people just for 1 week for a couple of hours in Royston Skate Park. And now we run events attracting maybe 150 to 200 people, including those participating and watching. And we do events in schools and a weekly event also down at the church in the car park. We work with the police and all kinds of things. And in terms of growth for the future, the long-term dream has always been to have a state-of-the-art skate park venue in the London Borough of Sutton.
Phil, why is it so important that Urban Youth Action ensure they're inspiring young people of all abilities in their social, physical and spiritual development and not just focusing on a specific group?
Well, we believe that the London Borough of Sutton is full of young people of all abilities and we want to reach out to as many as possible. We specifically work with disadvantaged and disengaged young people and that would obviously include people of all abilities. So we don't want just to focus on the ones who might go on to make a career out of skateboarding or scootering or BMXing, but to include everyone. And it's a great tool to be able to increase people's confidence in themselves and in their part to play in the community.
We found quite a nice line on your website which read, "Without bearings, our equipment doesn't work. Without your support, we can't help others." How tough have you found it in recent years to get the funding you need?
Well, sure, it's been more tricky with some of the cutbacks that have happened, particularly in the state level. But we have found that we've been able to increase our funding applications and we've been successful with some of those. A lot of the funders are really happy that we're not the usual kind of perhaps charities that maybe they give money to fairly regularly. It's quite a niche sort of market and reaches young people that perhaps other mainstream sports can't reach. So we're doing okay at the moment, but there's always room for more funding.
And finally, I was really pleased to hear that you're looking for an indoor venue. That's right, isn't it?
That's right, yeah. So the next kind of big step for us is to find an indoor venue, which is the hunt is on at the moment. So if anyone knows of any venues locally, then we'd be really interested to hear kind of large hall size venue to run a pilot project to see if we can prove that it would be really sustainable and a really kind of good business venture for funders to give us money in the future to make the dream come true.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Phil. Please do keep us up to date with everything that's going on with Urban Youth Action. And that's the end of our latest show of SVTV. We hope you've enjoyed it, and don't forget to keep up to date with all the latest news, opinion and events from around Sutton at suttonvoice.co.uk.
You can also follow Sutton Voice on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you very much for joining us.